Trackside. We're not exactly trackside. Welcome to my home in suburban Milwaukee. Thought I'd give you a chance to see exactly how we do LTN every week. It's not one of those high-priced studios. No, ladies and gentlemen, we do this program from my house, and you're all invited in, so you just follow. Come on in. We'll show you how we do the program.
In the truck series yesterday, Ron Hornaday won at Louisville.
Oh,
nice track, huh?
What an exciting deal. I tell you, Mike Bliss, he impressed me. He is awesome. That Ron Hornaday is beating on Mike Bliss's back bumper while Mike Bliss is leading, so Bliss is okay. He lets Ron Hornaday go by and just literally beats him up. But Ron Hornaday won,
and that's the bottom line. They can always fix the truck, but he won.
The racetrack definitely should be closed. They shouldn't be running there. It only holds about 4,000 people. It's a dump in Louisville, Kentucky, and they race trucks there.
I suppose LTN is really kind of like Wayne's World in a way. The old program, remember, local access television in Aurora, Illinois, and the guys did it downstairs at Mom's house. Well, it's funny how the program evolved to where it is, doing it out of my home. Once we broke away from our local affiliate here in Milwaukee, WAUK, they have to take the program just like everybody else over satellite. They gotta get a dish that downlinks it just like every other station. We wanted to do it from a neutral site, and since we are looking to buy some property right now, the company is, until that happens, we thought, well, what the heck? While we're getting on our feet, let's just do it from my house. This bedroom became available when my son joined the Navy, and we moved in, set up, and it's really worked very well. Although I have to tell you, as you can see, it's pretty tight quarters in here. My wife, Marge, at least she doesn't have very far to go to work. She answers telephones, and if you'll notice, the lights flash over there. That's the only way you know the phones are ringing, because we keep the bells off for the most part. Marge answers the phones and writes down the caller's name and address so that we can put their name in a hat for later in the program, give away nice things, you know. Puts them in front of me, and then she keeps them in order for me, so I never, ever forget exactly who's on the line. And makes it for a very smooth transition. Marge also punches the caller across to the big board, where Dan will control the caller's voice and put him over to me. Now, Dan Margetta, he's a younger guy, as you can see. Eddie's 57, I'm 44. Dan's only in his mid-20s, which is great because we need a little youth injected into this group. Dan is the only college graduate of the bunch, and even though engineering wasn't his specialty, communications was. That's why he kind of took the bull by the horns and took this program to the next level, which is to syndicate where we are right now. Ed Kluka, of course, he joined me 3 years into the program. Eddie is just an amazing talent when it comes to figuring out what a race car can do. He's got a technical mind. It's put him in the middle of the race business for many years. And of course, many people know him for selling wheels, but he's not only a salesman of wheels, he also sells different race car parts, and of course, he sells this program. When we're looking for sponsors for our own program, Eddie's the one that does it.
Todd was the one who started the show, and it was a racing show, and I've been in racing since 1954, and in sales, and did just about everything in the sport except radio, and I did some TV with the Inside Winston Cup and things like that, and I met Todd on the radio, listening to the show, and there wasn't a technical side to the show. There was just Todd. And so I thought maybe if there was a technical side of the show, that between us would be kind of a good mix. So I called him and we got together, and the rest is history. That was like, I don't know, 9 years ago, 10 years ago. You know, it could be just about anybody today. Ted Musgrave, this was his favorite racetrack till they repaved it and lost everything that he had there, because he's obviously very deep in the field, and maybe he'll, as Dick Trickle say, is nutrition his way to a good finish.
Nutrition, right. All right, now that starting lineup was brought to you by the Finishing Positions Hotline.
I believe our audience is pretty mixed, although I don't think we have as many kids as some programs might, perhaps because of the overall saltiness of the language at times, but for the most part, our listeners, I would think, are adults, late 20s to late 80s.
Someone calls in and asks about the IndyCar series. They pretty much know, if they listen to our show, that we're Let's Talk NASCAR. It's a NASCAR show. We talk about stock car racing. We will talk about IndyCars, and we'll laugh at them and their struggle to succeed. the battle between CART and IRL, and you know, it's fun to watch. It's makes interesting conversation, but it's really not racing.
It's a great audience. A racing audience, on a radio audience, you have their 100% attention all the time. It's a one-on-one medium. A guy in his car and his radio and our voices coming across. We're talking to one person at a time for the most part, and that's why radio is such a great medium.
Did you hear us? Yeah. Did you hear us mention your name last week?
Yeah, I don't know. I listen every week, but I went outside for a second.
Well, we gave you a set of Pinnacle Brands race cards as being one of the only 2 callers that got through when we were at the Milwaukee Mile.
That was $4.99.
That was number 499. So you...
No, they called the winner on $4.99. It was just me and another man.
Right, that's why we called your name last week. And if you weren't listening, you'll be interested to know that the crowd that was assembled there when I said that you were the winner, I mean, you're the most popular caller we have, George.
Were those real people out there?
No, it was a tape. It was just tape. It was all on tape.
Come on, George.
I know, y'all had a big crowd out there.
Yes, we did.
A bunch of people out there clapping and stuff.
And they were clapping for you, my friend.
Between the 3 of us, we make a pretty good team, even though we're unlikely to have ever worked together or been friends together, what with the difference in age, difference in backgrounds, and difference in personalities. But once we go on the air, things go pretty smooth, as you can see.
Unbelievable. Hey, here's something I want you to know. For the 501st time, you put your head right in front of the camera, Ed. Real race cars have doors, even if they do climb in through the windows. I'd like to thank my wife, Marge, for answering telephones, and Dangerous Dan for doing his usual good job. See you next week, everybody. Bye. Bye.
Don't miss the LTN Hour with your hosts, Todd Bailing and Ed Kluka. Sunday mornings at 10 on WHIT, AM 1550, The Team.